Hello everyone, welcome to the Southern Scally Capper. Today we are taking a look at the Rocky Marciano by Boston Scally Company. Let's get to it. Here it is. This is the Rocky Marciano. This is an 8-panel black with red leatherette brim and button wool blend cap in Boston Scally's own words. With his relentless and raw fighting style, Rocky Marciano is known as one of the greatest fighters of all time. With a record of 49-0, the Brockton blockbuster showed the world what a blue-collar kid with a giant heart could accomplish. Here is the cap in hand. This is the Rocky Marciano cap by Boston Scally Company, of course. And look, oh man, I really like that. Right there, you have Rocky Marciano's signature there in kind of the gold color. And then the top, of course, you have the red button, which stands out beautifully against that black. And as you can see, not many colors going on this cap. You just have the red and the black. But oh man, this checks one of my boxes for any cap. I love when the brim stands out from the colors around it. And obviously here it does very well. You see that red brim standing out beautifully from the black. And then on the inside, you have Rocky Marciano himself right there, a silk lining with Rocky Marciano in there. So a really neat cap. I like this cap a lot. This cap has been out now for quite some time, I believe. I'm not really all that big of a boxing fan, but what was funny is that recently me and my wife decided to sit down and watch all of the Rocky movies and the Creed movies. So we watched all of those movies. I had seen bits and pieces of them growing up from time to time, and I just never sat down to watch the entire series. Great series. I mean, I highly recommend it. It's really a great story. You know, we all love the underdog story, and that, of course, is what Rocky Marciano is. And that is what, you know, I think, well, people might argue that now, but I think that's kind of what Boston Scally, you know, is in a way. And that's really what they push a lot of the times, is the underdog, you know, the small man, the working class, the little guy. They push that a lot with their advertising and things like that. So it just made sense, I think, to do a Rocky Marciano cap. And then if you watch the Rocky movies, Rocky, and his name is actually Robert Balboa, not Rocky Balboa in the movies, but he takes the nickname Rocky because he's such a big fan of Rocky Marciano, as far as I understand it. So really cool. It's a cool tie-in to Rocky Marciano and the Rocky movies. But again, just great movies, really. And even the Creed movies, 1 and 2, they kind of complete Rocky Balboa's story. So don't think that those movies, you know, the Rocky story is complete without seeing those movies. If you haven't seen those and you've seen the Rockies, you need to watch at least Creed 1 and 2, because they complete the Rocky Balboa story, which is, it's wrapped up very well, I think. I think you really have to watch those to get the complete story. And you know, I love the 80s. I was a late 80s kid. I was born in the mid 80s, so I was actually kind of more of a 90s kid. And Rocky 4 is what is considered by most just probably the best Rocky movie. People love that Rocky movie. I love it too. I love the 80s music in it, the Survivor songs, everything, just the goofiness of the robot. I know there's the director's cut. I've seen that one as well. Rocky versus Drago, I think. But I really like the theatrical version more just because of the goofiness that it has with the robot. And I don't know, it just feels more 80s to me, and, you know, not quite as serious. It has its serious moments, of course, especially at the end, the last match with Drago, Rocky versus Drago. But I like them both, but I think I would prefer the theatrical version. But my favorite Rocky movie is actually, and please don't stop the video when I say this, Rocky 5. I really liked Rocky 5. I know people despise that movie. They can't stand it. Even Sylvester Stallone, I think in an interview, said he gave it a goose egg. He did not like that movie at all. But I think it's a great movie. I really like the story between him and his son and growing up. And I just think it's a really neat... the final fight's a lot different than the final fight in the other movies. It's just got... It's, you know, just enveloped in the 90s. It's just oozing with 90s songs and the field, the city. I don't know. It just feels so 90s to me. I think it came out in 1990. So it actually kind of feels a little bit, which this might sound weird, but it feels a little bit like Ninja Turtles to me in a way. Just the vibe of the whole movie feels like that to me. But anyways, if you haven't seen those movies, the Rocky movies, give them a chance, because I sat on them for way too long. Like I said, we recently watched them, and they were just such great movies. So back to the hat, the Rocky Marciano hat. This is a slick cap. I like this cap a lot. The red and the black, the little bit of red you get, and of course as I pointed out, the leatherette brim. I think I said leather brimette in my last video. Didn't even realize it until I went back and watched, and I was like, oh, whatever. You go back and watch these videos, I think, and you hear yourself repeat the same word over and over, or you say something goofy, and you're like, oh, who cares? I'll just put it up. So that kind of happened with that video. So a leatherette brim on this cap, a red leatherette brim. And again, wow, it is sharp, that brim. I know a lot of people don't like the leatherette brims, but I think it makes this cap, it really stands out. To my knowledge, there are no pins that go along with this cap. But they did release, Boston Scally has some UFC pins with a boxing glove, and maybe even some other ones that I haven't seen or I don't know about. But to my knowledge, no Rocky Marciano pin. Now, they did have a hoodie, which actually came back in stock recently, and it's really cool. I'll show it here. A really neat hoodie that's got the Rocky Marciano logo on the back. I ended up just getting this from Amazon. That's where we get everything now, right? And it was just, again, and I kind of feel like, you already have the Rocky Marciano, the signature on the back, right there, Rocky Marciano. And so if you have that hoodie, then you have the Rocky Marciano again on your back. But I like the boxing gloves on the back. I don't know. I just thought, I'm one of those that I just feel like I start, I look like a walking advertisement for a product, and that's not my thing. And hey, if you got it, if you like it, that's awesome. I liked it too. But this is just a plain black hoodie that I have on here that I really like, and I think goes with this cap. Be great in the summer months. This isn't a really, really hot cap, so I think you could wear it definitely in the summer months, unless it just, gets blazing hot out there. So a great hoodie. It was just one that I chose to not pick up, even when it did. Like I said, I did see it come back on sale in my size, but I passed on it. For one thing, it's pretty expensive. It was, definitely at least I think $50 or more. Looked like it was pretty well made, but this was so much cheaper, and I just went ahead and got this off Amazon. So when I did see the Rocky movies, I had known about this cap actually before, because I think I had seen Anox actually got this cap. He has this cap. He wears it like this. Like that right there is how Anox, at least in a video, that's how he's wearing it. I just cannot pull that off. I might do it, just in jest or something. But if I'm going out, seriously wearing a cap, I just personally can't pull it off. That is not my style. Hey, it looks great on him though. And if you wish to do it that way, of course, go for it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rate the Rocky Marciano cap. It's such a simplistic cap, I think, in a way, but sometimes those are the most eye-catching, ironically, because it's just so slick. It's got just such a slick, sophisticated look to it, and so I'm going to go ahead and rate this thing. I rate on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. I'm going to give the Rocky Marciano cap by Boston Scally Company a 5. I'm giving it a 5. I just think this is it's a well-made cap. It's a stunning cap, I think. It draws your eye, and like I said, the red button there on the top looks great as well with the red leatherette brim. So, sometimes simple's best. I'm one of those. I love the donut. I love the donut cap. As goofy and wild looking as it is, but sometimes I'm just like, something like this. This will get the job done. So that is my review for the Rocky Marciano caps. Oh, and by the way, if you have seen all the Rocky movies, and I'm going to include Creed, at least 1 and 2 in there too. So if you have seen those movies, at least tell me, what's your favorite Rocky movie? Again, mine's part five. 5 is my favorite, and then 4, and then I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it a little more. Maybe 3 or maybe 2. Now, Rocky's kind of a weird series because it's one of those movies that I wouldn't consider the original even close to the best. I know a lot of people would. It feels a lot different than the other Rocky movies. It's more of a drama movie, I think. And then by the time you get to Rocky 3 with Mr. T in the 80s, it becomes much more action oriented, the movies from there on out. So they kind of start feeling a lot different after Rocky 2. But great performances all around, great movies. I really do just like them all. But for me, it'd be 5. But what's yours? What's your favorite Rocky movie? So thank y'all so much for joining me today, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.